Good morning, YouTube. This is Melody. I would just like to share some simple cards with you that I made this morning. I had a terrible case of insomnia, so rather than doing housework or chores, which is what I really should have been doing, I got out my stamps and some watercolors and I went to town. So let me show you what I came up with. Some of the images I had previously stamped over the weekend here and there and put them in a box. And then since I couldn't sleep and I wasn't going to do chores, I decided to make some cards. So here we go. This is a really beautiful stamp and it is by Hampton Arts. Hampton Arts. It's one of those, I guess, like photo realistic stamps, and it's very hard to stamp with, but I was fooling around with it, and even though the images aren't as crisp as I would like, I really do like the effect that I ended up with. So the first card, this is a pre-made Studio G card that you get, like 6 or whatever in the pack for about $1 from Michael's. And this is various Ranger inks that I put on watercolor paper and then splattered water all over them to give them that effect. And then I went over it with archival black ink for the actual stamp. And I inked the edges. Very simple, but I think it catches your attention. And then this is one of the Ditto stamps from Michael's for the matching envelope. This one here is also a Studio G pre-made card. Distress Inks by Tim Holtz on the outside edges. And this is watercolor. There's archival ink stamping of the stamp in black. And there's more distress inking along the edges. Matching envelope. Wasn't paying attention because, I was sleepy, but I just couldn't go to sleep. I stamped the background script upside down, but I kind of actually like it. It just, I don't know. And you can see here, this is the correct direction it's supposed to go, but I kind of like it. It works for me. Let's see. Here's another one. This panel here is embossed with the Big Kick. And then there's Distress Ink. There's iridescent watercolor paint by Prang in 3 or 4 different colors. Hopefully you can see that glimmer and that shine. This lady stamped in Ranger inks. And then she's got a little bit of the iridescence watercolor on her eyelids. Same thing for the stamp. It's more Ranger ink. The clock face back here is a Tim Holtz stamp. And then, as you can see, there's more of the background cursive or fancy writing script as well. And this one's a pretty big one. I think this is about 5 by 7 because this one I cut myself. So a little bit of layering, lots of watercolor, lots of stamping going on, but still flat enough that it can be mailed. And I really like how that one turned out. Let's see. These 2 little panels here, I haven't decided where I'm going with those. I think this one I would like to try and make a tag with. This one I stamped with archival ink, and then I painted over it with liquid Distress Inks by Tim Holtz. This one I stamped in archival ink, and then I used chalk to color. A couple of different colors of chalk. Here are 2 that I stamped, and well, actually I watercolored the panel first on this one, then I stamped over it, then I distress inked it, and then I did a background stamp with the script in the right direction, and I distress inked the edges. Then I did the water splattering to make the ink distress. And it's on a pre-made craft card. I really like that one. That could be for a birthday and I love you or whatever for a guy. And there's the envelope. And there's the back of it, just for added interest. This one here, there is a stamping in archival black ink. Then I went back in and watercolored the image with different watercolors. Then I distressed the edges. And if you can see it, the background, stamped the butterfly, distressing the edges, then did the water splatter technique to make the ink activate. Matching envelope. Pretty cool. This big one, I probably worked on the longest. I started this panel yesterday, and again, it's the same humongous stamp of the girl. And I painted her, watercolored her with distress inks. Then I did the water effect, and it did those lightning spots like it was faded and old. And then in the background, as you can see, is an embossed panel. Oh, I also distressed the edges with the distressing tool. Here's another embossed panel, and I tore the paper, and I inked it and watercolored it again with the shiny iridescent watercolors. And as you can tell, they look just like some of the mist that are out on the market, but it's actually a set of watercolors that I got from Hobby Lobby. And then I distressed inked the edges. The actual craft cardstock, it holds water pretty well. I distressed inked it inside, but it does hold light color washes pretty well. So I went over it with a couple of different colors of coordinating watercolor paint. And now all I have to do is put it in between like two encyclopedias to flatten it out some more. And there's just a little clock face envelope. And this one here is yet another watercolored panel. You can see the glimmer on that one really well. And then there's distress inking along the edges. The roses in the background are distress inks. Did some stamping on the back. Stamp the inside as well. This is also a pre-made Studio G card from a pack. And there's the envelope for that one. And then this one is probably the most simple of all. There's no dimension to it, but I think it still has a pretty good impact. These are distress inks, and this is actually a stamp I found a long time ago at the Dollar Tree. And it's pretty big, as you can see. And it's stamped on the inside. And as you see there, where I stamped those, they meet up. Didn't do anything to the envelope on that one yet. So those are my simple cards. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.